Nightlife can be seen as a series of rituals that people engage in for personal or social gain. There are a variety of reasons for pursuing nightlife. Some people just want to go out for personal reasons for themselves. They just want to go out, get a drink, relax, decompress, go dancing, listen to some music, or hang out with their friends. And at other times, there are elements of other social gain going on. So, not trying to necessarily get something for yourself, but trying to get something from someone else. So, nightlife is partly an animal kingdom style competition, sometimes referred to as the chase, wherein some individuals try to demonstrate superiority over others by pursuing various practices and strategies, such as carefully grooming themselves to stand out. So, making sure their hair is spiked and the collar's popped, and they hit the tanning salon in the morning, they put on their best perfume to stand out, to present themselves in a way that makes a good impression and to be presentable. So, in the animal kingdom, literally, this is called peacocking. It's what a peacock does with their bright, colorful, ornate patterns of feathers. The peacocks are doing that to try to attract female peacocks, and a lot of the male humans do that to attract female humans. In addition to just their dress and appearance, they could also coordinate with wingmen or wingwomen. This is where instead of purely relying on yourself and your own talents at navigating social situations, you can rely on friends to speak highly of you to others, or to somehow coordinate with your efforts, to strengthen your efforts, to get whatever social gain you're trying to get from that night. Trying to impress another could also involve exaggerating tall tales about oneself, so their career or their past exploits or their social status. So, mentioning that you invest in crypto or how many TikTok views you get. These can all be done in the attempt to woo members and impress members of the desired sex and get a phone number or some sort of sexual conquest, a hookup. So it's really like a watering hole in the animal world. This giant dynamic ecosystem of predators and prey. And often when one finds themselves in nightlife, they're both predator and prey at the same time. So even when a guy is preying on a woman he has his eye on in a nightclub, maybe that guy is simultaneously getting swindled or preyed on by the bartender who sees him as an easy source of drink orders for the night. So that guy thinks he's a lion, but there could be a bigger lion right behind him. So just like in the animal world, some animals just go to the watering hole to get a drink, to get some sustenance. But once they enter that environment, they're inevitably caught up and implicated in the activities and the rituals of others. So that lion doesn't care that those gazelles just came to have a drink with each other. The mere fact that they're gazelles at the watering hole ropes them in to the social relations and power dynamics that are at play in that watering hole. Like if you were to watch footage of a nightclub, it would look similar to a wildlife documentary on BBC or National Geographic. Like you could literally have David Attenborough narrating, like, on one side of the bar, we have Gerald and his wingmen, and they've made eye contact with some women on the other side of the bar. Watch now as Gerald makes the approach. Oh, what's this? A more muscular patron of the nightclub is circling that same group of girls. What will Gerald do? So it's this whole complex, dynamic ecosystem of attacks and defense and strategies for approach or deflection. It's a whole sporting ritual that's a part of our game-like cultural script. Because a lot of things in our culture resembles games and play, and nightlife is one of them. And speaking of social capital from the week on the education system, there is social capital to be used and gained and lost in nightlife. When Gerald and his wingmen are approaching a group of women, or even when you guys are pre-drinking with your friends, you are combining your social resources, your social capital to benefit the entire group. So maybe one of Gerald's wingmen already has a girlfriend of his own, but he's just there to help Gerald, to contribute his social capital, to aid Gerald in his efforts. So they're kind of like tribes going out to hunt. They participate in these collective pre-game rituals, pre-gaming, pre-drinking, to kind of intensify that group cohesion. Like oftentimes before the pre-drink is even over, before people even go out for the night, they're already drunkenly singing together and saying, I love you, man. So they're building that group solidarity and decreasing social anxiety prior to tackling the world of nightlife, prior to braving out into the world of nightlife with their fellow tribes people about to embark on a hunt. So just like these deeply patterned courtship rituals involve a degree of sport and competition, it also involves a masquerade of sorts, where individuals don't just have strategies of pursuit and attack, they also have strategies of deflection and subterfuge. So this involves individuals giving out fake numbers. If someone's pursuing you and you just want them to leave you alone, you can give them a fake number. Or they can strategically blend into the crowd. Like I said earlier, oftentimes nightlife is about standing out from the crowd and peacocking. But if you're the one who the peacocks are after, then it might behoove you to blend into the crowd. Or they can use fake IDs or cosmetically modify their appearance, such as with lipstick and makeup and hair products and heels. Find a way to cut in line or get on a VIP list or get free drinks and various other tactics of evasion and deception. It attempts to defensively maneuver or gain power in any given situation. So it's like every interaction in nightlife is you're trying to get something. You talk to the bartender, you're trying to get a drink. You cut someone in line at the bar because you're trying to get a drink faster than that other person. You're trying to get an advantage over them in that particular situation, however small that advantage is and however short-lived that situation is. It just feels good to wield the resources we have at our disposal in order to leverage them into some sort of social advantage or personal advantage. So these are all essentially games that we play, and they're reminiscent of games we played as children. So using a fake ID is like playing a game of make-believe, or walking around the club is like playing a game of tag. So all these rituals that occur in nightlife are essentially games in which people cultivate competitive strategies of attack and evasion and deception, and engage in all these tactics that they have at their disposal to each respectively make the most of their night.